Welcome to another episode of Business Highlight, a show by the Boca Raton Tribune. In Business Highlight, we talk to local business professionals and highlight their companies and nonprofits to our viewers. I'm your host, Pedro, and before we get started, please make sure to like us on Facebook, share this video, follow us on YouTube. All those links will be at the bottom of the screen. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Doug Mosley, the executive director of the roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl. Doug, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
I'm great, and it's great to join you. Let me tell you, thanks so much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you.
Yeah, we're 11 days away from the Boca Raton Bowl. I'm sure you're very, very busy right now. So just the fact that you took some time out of your day to talk to us it means a lot to us.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
So let's just get started. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got involved with the Boca Raton Bowl, and we'll start from there.
Well, sure. I mean, when it all came together, when the FAU and the city and county all came together and went to Conference USA, which is the league that FAU participates in and in their athletics, and they just built this beautiful stadium here, FAU Stadium, and I hope that everybody that's watching today has had an opportunity to be at FAU Stadium, for one of the variety of events. It's not just college football and such. There's been great international soccer games in there and such. I've been there for so many things.
Yeah.
But when that all came together, it was like, this is the perfect place to have a bowl game. And at the time I was working in the schools, I knew ESPN. I knew the folks that ultimately ended up being my bosses. And I'll never forget, I was in Cincinnati, Ohio, and it was cold, and we had so much snow. And I got this phone call, and they said, how would you like to move to Boca Raton, Florida, and be the executive director of a brand new bowl game? And let me tell you, Pedro, I think I beat them down here. I think I set out on foot to get down here, and I've loved every minute of it since then. That was back in 2014 for our first year, and we're into year 7 this year. So it's been fantastic. The community has embraced this bowl game in such a way that we're so fortunate, so very blessed.
Yeah. So how, we talk a lot about the economic impact of the bowl to the city. Obviously this year it's going to be a little different, but it's still going to be, there's still an impact to the city, the recognition of a bowl game and things like that. But so you said this is the 7th year, correct?
Right. Yep.
In the last 7 years, how has how has it been for the city to have such a bowl in this here national televised?
Yeah, and when you consider it, it's really more than just the bowl game day itself, and that the just the naming and having it here really pays off for the city throughout the entire what we call our bowl season from in December and January. There's on our network, our bowl game is owned and operated by ESPN, and our networks that have that bottom line, the scroll across the bottom of the screen, it's going to say Boca Raton on there for 2 weeks, 3 weeks even, I think this year is how long bowl season will be. And, that's just a recognition of what is available down here. Rick Haydock, who used to be the general manager of the Boca Raton Resort, when I first got here, and he was sitting with me, he goes, he says, as much as everybody loved the Seinfeld episode with Del Boca Vista, he said, we've got to overcome that. And we've got to do things like have bowl games and play up FAU. And the fact that we're a young, thriving city. And this isn't just where mom and dad from New York come and retire, tell the kids, hey, we're heading to South and we're out of here. He says, this is a young, thriving, vibrant city. So that was one of the things, that struck me right away. Here was, Rick was one of our community leaders. He's since moved on, but to hear him describe it in those ways and the importance to the city. And since then, it's been nothing but success. We've had well over $100 million in sponsoring value, and that comes from an independent third party. The global audience is approaching 20 million cumulative that has been through the years. I know our previous title sponsor had said that they were in a meeting with a company, an investment company in Japan, of all places. And when they said, how did you know about us? They said, we saw your football game, meaning the bowl game. It had played on one of our ESPN networks in Japan.
Wow.
So the impact is wide ranging. It lasts more than just the bowl day itself. And then we try and be great citizens in our community. We try and support the charities, that we're able to. We try and make opportunities available. We try and stay very visible within our community. We have typically in any other year, aside from this one, we'll have upwards of 70 events a year to let people have an opportunity to interact with the bowl game.
Wow. So talk a little bit about that. Obviously COVID-19 has kind of put everybody on this weird phase of what to do with what big events coming up, and the Boca Bowl isn't any different. You can't have everybody in the stadium as you usually do. So what has the Boca Raton Bowl done to kind of bend the curve and make lemonade out of these lemons?
Well, our thing is that we want to put on an event that is safe and enjoyable for everybody, from the student athletes on the field, the coaches, administrators, those folks that are connected to the schools that come down here to the game, and for the fans in the stands. We want this to work for everybody. And we've been very stringent in the pandemic protocols that we put in place for this year's game. And, step one is there's no bowl week. This is just simply a game. And, let's face it, who wants to go and be one of 10 to 15,000 people gathered for a party outside of a football stadium before a game? Yeah. I know that's what we were known for, and I know that people are so disappointed that that's not available this year, but it's just not safe to do that right now.
Yeah.
So in any of the other events, we always had the great tailgate party with all the restaurants. I think there was 40 restaurants that we had in our last year in our tailgate event. And it's so much fun, and they have fun doing it. And obviously people have fun sampling the food and everything. But who wants to go to a hotel ballroom with 500 or 600 people and do that this year? Nobody does. So we trimmed out away all our events. So all we are is just the game this year. And there's nothing going on outside of the stadium. Inside the stadium, FAU Stadium holds 30,000 people. Well, we're at 20%. That means that we are only able to put in 20% of that 30,000, or 6,000 seats. We can fill that many, and we have to have those seats socially distanced. We are asking people to please wear a mask the whole time. As a matter of fact, if they come in, if they're eating or drinking or something, we understand that. But if somebody's sitting there watching the game, and you don't have your mask on, you're probably going to get reminded.
Yeah.
We want everybody to be safe. We want to do this in the right way. But further than that, this is going to be on primetime TV on Tuesday night, December 22nd. We want to show everybody else that we're following the best practices to keep everybody safe. So we'll be at 20%. It'll be very few tickets will be available. That's probably my biggest disappointment. I spoke before the Boca Chamber of Commerce on Thursday, and typically that's a group that we go in there, and obviously those businesses hold lots of tickets each year, and then we even will give them charitable tickets and say, have somebody come to the game, fill up seats for us.
Yeah.
And this year I had to tell them, I'm not asking you to come to the game. I'm asking you to watch it on TV this year.
Yeah, it's been a very different year, but and even with the teams coming in, the first team that was announced this year is UCF, which a couple of years ago was undefeated for 2 or 3 seasons. Yeah. So how great is it to have a team like UCF come down for the bowl? I think it brings also a lot of credibility to the bowl.
Well, there's no doubt about that, and to think that we're in our 7th year. I mean, we're still brand spanking new.
Yeah.
And in our 7th year already, we've got a team with the resume of a UCF. And then circumstances also led to us being able to take an ACC team in our game this year. And we'll announce that team most likely on Sunday. So we're going to have a great matchup. We're going to have well-known names, good, teams that have played in big-time bowls. But I'll say this for UCF, here's a team that's played New Year's Six bowls, over the past few years. They're excited about coming to our game. They're excited about coming to Boca Raton. They really are looking forward to it because so many of their kids, obviously they've got a significant alumni base, but their student athletes, a lot of their student athletes are from down here, Palm Beach County, some Broward, some Miami-Dade, and they're excited about playing in front of moms and dads that don't have to travel to Orlando just to get to see them in a home game, that they'll be here in their own backyard. Now, those teams are being very careful, and we're going to be extremely careful when we get them here. Obviously, there's no bowl week events. We're not taking them out. We're not having them mix with the public. But it's very much their intent that they want to play in this game and want to have a great bowl game.
Yeah, so even So like I said, even though there's not a lot of events this year because of COVID, has the Boca Raton Bowl, I guess committee would say, are you guys still doing stuff for the community at large to help them throughout these times?
Absolutely. We still work with our charities, Spirit of Giving. We support Habitat for Humanity and, of course, the local YMCA. I just spoke this Thursday morning about the YMCA and how even when they weren't open to the general public, they were still making opportunities available for folks that were on the front line in the battle against the pandemic that needed childcare. They were providing childcare, things like that, and Habitat continuing their mission. Of course, Spirit of Giving, in so many ways, they do so much in our community with their holiday gift drive that makes sure kids have a gift on the holidays, and also with their back to school bash and things like that. And we've supported those efforts. We didn't want to let down on those.
Yeah. Um, turning a little bit from the bowl itself and talking about you've been here for 7 years. What would you say has been one of your most memorable moments with the Boca Bowl?
Well, it's always with the teams. I mean, I'm somebody that spent 26 years on campus working in college athletic departments, and it's always to do with the student athletes. The and I call them kids. I know they don't like to be called kids. They're young men and young women, but still, to me, they're kids. Because I see them grow, I see them get experiences. I love when they have this bowl experience. I love, in a typical year, we'll go to the airport for the teams that'll fly in. I love when they come off the plane and the beautiful weather and that is so personally rewarding to me.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, I also love when our community is able to come out and be around these bowl teams. We, for the most part, every event during our bowl week, when we take them to a beach party, we welcome them. Like I say, the airport arrivals, we always try and make everything open to the public. The only thing that is never open to the public is our hospital visit, and for obvious reasons.
Sure.
But I love it when I see folks in our community and kids in our community that come out and they see these student athletes and they be around them and they kind of feel that joy of, they're here in South Florida, in Palm Beach County, in Boca Raton to play this football game, but they're also enjoying being in front of our community. So it's a great, as much as I love that experience for student athletes, I love that for the folks in our community.
Yeah, for sure. And so as the executive director of the roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl, what does your day-to-day activity look like?
Well, right now it's a lot about pandemic protocols and what we have to do to make sure that we're putting on a safe event. But during the course of a year, like let's say it, like back in year 6, it's all about our next event. It's all about what we're doing to be a good citizen in our community. Whether, we put together an event that was geared towards women. I mean, I know that people think football, very manly, very, it's a tough sport and that kind of thing. But, when you think about it, the people that were really major people behind bringing this all together were women. Susan Welchel was the mayor of Boca Raton when they made the decision, we'll support this. Priscilla Taylor was the mayor of Palm Beach County when it came across her desk. So we wanted to recognize that. I mean, we're fortunate. We've got some incredible, strong leaders who are also women in our community, and we like to celebrate that. So we've done things like we have a women's night where we bring out, I think one of the most memorable for me was when we did it with the Miami Marlins, and the Marlins, brought some of their top female executives and had a great evening with our invited guests. We do the tailgate showcase where we bring together, like 40 restaurants and have them say, we want you to make one item that's just, like a great bite, a great tailgate item. And lo and behold, one of them that came to us, Los Pecados, which is out in Parkland, out of the blue, this taco place located in the back of a Chevron. And now they're on diners, drive-ins, and dives. They were unknown. And I'm not trying to say that we propelled that, but we were there from the beginning with them. And, Guy Fieri was in their shop, and I watched the show here recently within the last couple of months. So, we stay very busy with events. We love to be involved with our community. We feel like, Boca is not a giant city, but it's also not a small city. but it's a very close city.
Yeah. And so for the people that think that, for example, oh yeah, the Boca Bowl is only one week of the year and then nothing's going on at the other 11 months, what do you like say to these people that think that?
Here's our event schedule. It's just like in the middle of the summertime. We've always been involved with the county has in the convention center, and I guess the best way to describe it is they invite different sports entities from around our area, and they bring in over the course of a couple of days, they'll bring in upwards of 10,000 kids,
right,
and let them get a chance. And for us, it's all about, we've got this big field goal kicking net. If you've been to one of our FAU games during the regular season, when we have that set up outside, we always let people try and kick a field goal in the net. So we let kids do that. That's just one of the events that we do. I talked about the tailgate events. I talked about the women's event. There's just all kinds of opportunities. We felt like it was imperative, if we were going to be a good citizen in this community, that we be active in this community well beyond just that bowl week, well beyond just the month of December. We wanted to give back in every way we could, and part of that was being familiar, letting people see us, know us, be involved with us.
Yeah, and I think a great segue to that is what has been one of the most rewarding parts of being part of the Boca Raton Bowl, either with helping out in the community or a memorable game or anything like that?
Every year, with the exception of this year, we work with Spirit of Giving to give out tickets. The teams prior to this year, as part of their guarantee, we get a significant block of tickets. And what tickets they wouldn't fill, we always ask them to give back to us. And those aren't tickets we can sell. They essentially belong to somebody else, but we can give them away. And so through Spirit of Giving, we would invite thousands of kids and families. Wow. And, it's folks that probably wouldn't normally get an opportunity to go to a bowl game. And that is so rewarding to see those kids. Spirit of Giving does such a great job. They line it up to where it doesn't cost them anything. They have boxed lunches for them when they get here.
Right.
Our entertainment's free. All the things in our family midway, the band that plays every year, all that's free. So there's no cost to that. And then to get in the game free, that's always so rewarding. Spirit of Giving and their mission that they do with the holiday gift drive, back to school bash. It's just, it's a fantastic organization to be able to support.
Is there a way, like, I know, again, as we've been talking, and it's kind of like a broken record, but I know the 2020 is a little different than every year, but is there any way that our viewers and listeners can help support, the Boca Raton Bowl this year still?
Well, it's kind of like I told the chamber on Thursday, watch us on TV, tune in. I work for ESPN. ESPN owns the bowl game. So obviously that TV rating is always important. So tune in. But be ready to come back out and be involved with us again when we are able to start firing up our events one more time. Yeah. Tell your friends, December 22nd, 7 p.m. ESPN is when our game will be played. UCF Knights will be playing somebody from the ACC. And
ACC?
We'll be announcing that on Sunday. We'll have to wait for those schools to complete their regular season and make that commitment.
That's nice.
And that's what we had, a set of circumstances come together this year that allowed us to be able to put an ACC team in our bowl game.
That's going to be a huge matchup then.
Yeah, it really should be. UCF, their offense, I mean, they're one of the top total offenses in the NCAA. I think they may be one of the top scoring offenses. If they're not number one, they're in the top four. Right. And they've got a young quarterback that's leading the nation in passing yards. So, they're going to be a great team. We got to find a great opponent to put up against them. And I know that there's ACC teams that are really looking forward to an opportunity to play them.
Yeah, it looks like it's shaping up to be an amazing game in 11 days from now at FAU Stadium. I'm very excited to watch it on TV, on ESPN, right? So it's going to be on ESPN, not the other networks. It's going to be the main
ESPN. Yep.
Cool. All right. And then if anybody has any information or wants to know any information about the bowl, they can always check out the website, roofclaim.bocaratonbowl.com.
And at this point, even today, we don't yet know if we're going to have any tickets remaining for sale. Right.
Yeah.
But check our website. Hopefully come Monday, we'll be able to put up one way or the other to let folks know tickets are for sale or tickets are all gone.
Yeah.
But because of the limited number and having to make sure that we're able to take care of our schools and let them, particularly the moms and dads. And like I say, UCF's got a lot of kids from down here. So we have to take care of them first, and we'll see what we have left.
Awesome. Doug, before I let you go, I asked this question for everybody, so you're not going to be any different. And since you're in the sports world, I think yours is going to be a little different. What is some advice you'd give a young listener, or maybe someone that's in college right now that wants to, get into this, world of sports, working for like, I don't know, like a ESPN type of thing, or working at a bowl like you do? What's an advice you'd give them?
Well, each year, and again, this year is an exception, we work with 2 colleges out of the Midwest that have undergraduate sports management program. And I always feel like it's giving back, because when I came out of college and, I wanted to work in sports, a lot of it was just contacting people who were putting on events and asking if I could volunteer to be part of it. And, I'll use the analogy of my first opportunity to ever work an international event, an Olympics type event.
Wow.
I came, I volunteered, they had me doing stuff, and they said, okay, you can go home now. Well, where the event wasn't in a city where I was living, and I was like on a friend of a friend's couch. So it wasn't like I was eager to go home. So I just never went home, or never went to the couch except to sleep at night. And I had a great experience. So, proof that you can work hard, that you understand what events are about. Rack up any kind of experience you can get. Seek out experience, almost the way that you seek oxygen to breathe. Seek event experience. And, these 2 schools that typically come down and work with us every year. One of them is admittedly my alma mater, Culver Stockton College, which is located in Missouri. And I tell them, I'm like, everything you need to be able to go to work for ESPN, you can learn here, because I did it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Doug, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to us. I know that you're very busy right now trying to get everything organized for the Boca Bowl in 11 days from now. So I really appreciate you coming in, and I hope to have you soon before next December to talk about the events you guys are doing throughout the community throughout the year.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, Doug.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to wrap up for us today at Business Highlight. I hope you found this episode informative. If you enjoy the content, make sure to like it, share it on your Facebook pages and YouTube accounts, and make sure to follow us as well. You see all those links in the bottom right there: Facebook, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Yeah. But yeah, tune in next week as we continue talking to the local business community about what they do and how that benefits our city. Until then, thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a great weekend.
Information. If it exists in writing, we print it. If it exists online, we update it. If it exists on mobile, we notify. If it exists in video, we show it. If it exists in audio, we play it. In the past, the news had to wait for a paper to print for it to happen. Today, news happens in real time. It's analyzed, edited, and published immediately by us, your neighbors, and of course, you. Wherever you are, you write, edit, give opinions, share photos, and make the news happen. This is why a paper needs to be on print, on screen, and on your phone. Wherever you are, your news has its pulse in the community. The Boca Raton Tribune. We are much more than just a newspaper. We are your closest neighbor.